Good morning, everyone. Good morning, good morning. Happy Wednesday. So excited to be here. Just going to wait a few minutes, take care of a few admin things as I wait for people to hop on here, make sure that I actually am live. So give me a few minutes here. Hop on here and tell me where you're from. I'm going to tag some people that mentioned that they wanted to come today. So we're going to go ahead and do that. First off, let's just go here. Okay, there's always so many things to do. I hope you guys are all having a wonderful week so far. Just got back from holidays, so just getting back into the swing of things this week. So far it is going well. Been very busy. Just making sure that I am live. Yes, I am live. So perfect. Okay. For some reason it's not showing up here, so let me just see if I can tag right here. Oops. Okay. Super excited what we're talking about today. It's all about how to build your visibility without being glued to the screen all day, which I know is something that none of us want to be doing, right? We don't want to be on our computers all day, stuck, doing the things that we don't love so much, right? Because as much as we love our work, we don't love everything about our work, right? So today we are going to talk about some of the things that we can do to build, so we can build our visibility and not be glued to the screen, but still have our ideal clients come and be attracted to us, and still, have that running in the background while we are off doing other things, right? So that is what we really want. Okay, I don't think my tagging worked. So let me just try that again. I usually do this in my Facebook group, so it's a little bit different. Anyways, okay. So, without further ado, we're just going to continue on. So, so if you feel like you've been showing up all the time and you're still not really getting the right people seeing you, then this live is for you. This training is for you. And you're definitely not alone, because I talk to a lot of people that have the same issue, right? They feel like they are following all of the rules that they're seeing online, that they are doing all the things that people are saying that they're doing, but they're still not really getting the results that they want. So I am going to show you some of the things that you need to do to get your ideal clients to come to you. And now these are just pieces of the puzzle, of course. But if you implement these 4 things, it's really going to help you attract your ideal clients. It's really crucial for you to have these 4 pieces, not only for clarity, but also for your client attraction strategies. And these are all go into much deeper depth for the strategy in my Get Paid in 90 Days Accelerator program. So if you don't know me, my name is Kelsey Bornyk, and I'm your success and strategy coach. And I help ambitious women, entrepreneurs, coaches, consultants, and creatives who are really tired about spinning their wheels and really ready to just finally get paid for their brilliance, right? They feel like like I said, feel like they've been doing all the right things, but still are just spinning and can't quite get the traction that they're wanting. I'm going to show you simple systems, strong positioning, and a whole lot of mindset rewiring. I really strive in mixing strategy with mindset because they're both really good and crucial for business, but it's not one without the other. When it comes to business, they both need to work together. So comment if you're here live, or comment if you're watching the replay. I would love to, say hi back, and I'd love to know where you're from. I always love to see who's popping on and who's catching the replay. So today we're going to activate your visibility and get you to really stop hiding in the background and start attracting your dream clients. Hi, Lillian. So let me ask you this. If I could look at your business, right, and I could make some changes in your business, and you could have 3 to 5 aligned clients coming your way every week, would you want me looking at your business today, right? Would you want me to take a deep dive into your business and work with you to see what the next 90 days could look like for you to bring in those aligned clients? If so, then put call in the comments below, and I will get back to you after this live, and we can discuss what it will look like for us to work together, whether that be some free resources right now, and what I can do to get you to that next win, get you into our next challenge, which is next week. But yeah, let's get on to a call and see how we can move you forward. So most women I talk to are doing all the things like I mentioned before, but they are really lacking the systems that actually attract their clients, right? They have all the bits and pieces, but they are missing some of the gaps. So what I like to do is I like to be the gap filler, is what a lot of people have called me. Is I like to look at your whole business and see exactly where we can fill those gaps and make sure that you have this streamlined system that will attract your clients. So we are going to look at how to get you visible, but in a strategic way, and how you can do it so you're not having to be everywhere, right? Because it's not about being everywhere. It's about showing up where it counts and in a way that really connects with your clients, right? So I want you to drop, again, call in the chat if you want me to personally look at your visibility and your messaging, and I'll show you what it is actually blocking you and your growth right now. And again, those calls are for free, so that is just a free discussion to see where we can how we can move you forward. Okay. Um, so moving on to our sales, I wanted to see if you guys really knew how many follow-ups it takes for people to actually say yes onto the sale. Sorry, I'm losing my words there. Let me know in the comments if you understand what I'm saying, because a lot of people don't understand. They think that when you are prospecting with potential clients, that once someone says no, or you get the feeling that someone's not really interested, that they quit there. And that's simply not the case, because a lot of times people are standoffish at first, right? Because we have to build trust with our potential clients, right? And so people aren't going to automatically feel warm and fuzzy around you. And so we need to make sure that we are just super friendly at first, right? And then we build up a rapport with them, and that we start earning their trust, right? So when you drop off after that first one, you were really leaving a lot of money on the table. And a lot of people actually take a much longer process to say yes. And you'll learn this in my yes method, and that is a whole client journey that that you take people on. But did you know that it actually 80% of sales require at least 5 follow-ups? At least 5 follow-ups. But most people quit after one. So you can see how you're really leaving a lot of money out on the table if you are one of those people that quits after one, right? So you want to make sure that you have a really robust follow-up system, that you are able to have, a lineup of people that you know that you need to go back and nurture and follow up with them, with different freebies or offers, and I'm not talking about payable offers. I'm talking about different things like this, like the live, like another thing, that like piece of content that you've put out, different things that will get you visible in front of them, so they can start to know, like, and trust you, right? So, and this, as far as sales goes, the 80% and the follow-ups, the same goes for visibility, right? So they work hand in hand. So you need to follow up with them, and you need to follow them up with them with visibility, right? You need to show them more of you, because they need to know, like, and trust you. So in order for them to feel comfortable to say yes, you need to be more visible to them. But you don't want to just rely on the algorithm to do that. You want to actually be able to purposefully put content in front of them. Make yourself visible to them, right? Well, how do you make yourself visible to them without the algorithm? Is by DMing them, following up with them, putting certain content that you're creating in front of them, making it available to them, right? Keep on offering them different things until maybe they say yes. Now, after so many no's, obviously they're not going to be, or they're not wanting your offer, right? But you want to follow up many times before you give up on that, because you don't want to leave that money on the table. And then again, these are free things, right? If you're not consistently showing up, you're leaving opportunities on the table, is what I'm trying to say. So think of visibility like a light switch. If you don't need to keep it on, or sorry, you don't need to keep it on all day, but you do need to flip it on strategically and intentionally, right? So you don't need to be on camera all day, every day, but you do want to put the content that you are creating in front of the right people at the right times. So that means, again, you don't need to be live all day, every day. But when you make these lives, you're recording them, you're downloading them, and then you have a piece of content that you can then share with people that you're talking to, people that are engaging in your other pieces of content, things that you can take, these are assets that you can take your potential prospects on a journey with you, right? Intentionally and strategically. So before my last launch, I used this exact checklist that I'm going to be giving away today. So at the end of this live, if you want this checklist, just let me know and I will send it to you. And I had 3 aligned leads in my DMs before I even pitched anything. So this really works, you guys. And it can work for you too. So let's get into the 4 simple visibility boosters that can really help you attract clients without needing more time or energy, really. The first thing that we really want to look at is your Facebook profile, right? So the biggest thing that I see on Facebook profiles is that they're not optimized, and that, I think, comes down to a lot of confusion and a lot of different ways of doing things, and that's okay. There are different ways of doing things, and I wouldn't say as far as the there's certain strategies, and I wouldn't say that one strategy is necessarily better than another strategy. I'm not gonna go down that rabbit hole, because most strategies work if you work those strategies, right? But what I was gonna say is that over the years, Facebook has really changed, and as far as, I just noticed that my head's kind of cut off in the video. Facebook has changed as far as its goals towards business. And so what personal pages used to be, personal profiles rather, they used to be all about personal, right? They used to be sharing with friends, sharing with family, so on and so forth. It was no business, none whatsoever. That's what your business page was for, right? And then you had groups. Now that is not the case. Facebook wants you to use your personal profile for your business. And Facebook pages for businesses are more just like a landmark to show that you have a viable business, but they don't really do much for you. Unless you already had a established business page prior to, and it is already in that algorithm and all of that, you're not gonna get a ton of action. But that doesn't mean that you can't use it. It just means that the algorithm isn't gonna push it forward like it is going to on your personal page. Facebook has really geared up personal pages to push out content for businesses. And that is why they have integrated the professional mode on Facebook profiles. And so if you're a business and you don't have professional mode, turn it on. I recommend turning it on. It gives you insights. It gives you a whole bunch of different assets that you could use to really get new followers and to improve your uh, improve your, sorry, losing my train of thought here. It really helps you improve your reach, is what I was trying to say. Improve your reach. And you can also get monetization, and there's so many different benefits. And I was just seeing Lillian's, and I guess I would have been 3 follow-ups at least. Yeah, 3 follow-ups. Yeah. See, that's exactly it, right? It takes it takes a little bit, right? People need to warm up to you. Um, so anyways, yeah, Facebook, I recommend that you have professional mode on for sure, right? So make sure you have that setting on so you could really utilize everything that Facebook has to offer you. That is the number one thing. If Facebook comes out with a new feature, try to use it, because the more you use the features, the more Facebook will push out your content. They like it when people A, stay on the platform, and B, utilize the options that it's giving you, right? So next on the profile is that you really want to optimize it to be like a lead magnet, right? And so on your banner, you really want, that is prime real estate, right? So I see a lot of people with either no picture or just like a random picture. And there, like I said, there are different trains of thought here. But um, what I see is that you can have 2 different things. You can have more of a professional or more of a picture that you like with a quote, that kind of thing. Now, the way I train is to have a professional picture, something made up in Canva, or an AI image people are doing these days. I prefer the ones in Canva. But anyhow, you will have a nice picture of yourself. I recommend on the right side, since the little profile picture is on the left hand side. And then you want to have like your I help statement. And you want to have a strong I help statement. So a bad example would be, I help women step into their purpose, right? Well, what exactly does that mean, right? So people, when they look at that, they're going to think, well, what exactly does that mean? Right? Like, I understand she helps women and step into their purpose, but that could mean a lot of different things, right? So people aren't going to be drawn to that so much because it leaves them curious to what exactly you're doing. You want something that is going to attract people so much that they go, oh, that's me. She could help me. That is my problem. Yes, right? So think about something like, I help coaches sign their next 3 clients without pay ads. DM next to get started, right? So that really draws someone in, because they're like, okay, I'm a coach. I really need clients, but I don't have the money to pay ads, right? So that is really talking to the person who they help, what problem they're solving for that person, and without, like, there's that pain point, right? They don't want to pay for ads because that is just another expense that they cannot afford at the moment, right? So it's really speaking the language that their ideal client wants. And then they're giving them a call to action at the end, which is just another bonus. So it's like, that's the lead magnet with the call to action. So it's really inviting their ideal client in and telling them exactly where to go. You want to lead the horse to water, right? Tell them where to go. If your ideal clients come to your profile and they don't know how to reach you or where to go, then they don't know what to do, right? You want it to be super obvious of what their next step is, right? I call these Facebook funnels. So on mine, I have actually on my banner, I actually have them to, I direct them to go to my Facebook group. And if you didn't know, on your banner, if someone clicks on the banner, it actually opens up to a side panel where you can put in some text like a post, and you can put a link in there. So I actually have on my banner a little picture that says click here, and it's not a real button, but if they click on the banner, it opens up that side panel, and then there's a link to my Facebook page, right? So it's like a funnel. So then they know that the next step I want them to take is to go to my Facebook group, right? And then in my little intro section, I also have another version of my I help statement. And then I have a shortened link to my Facebook group there as well. So then no matter where they go, they know exactly what I want them to do. I want them to join my Facebook group, right? And in addition to that, in your bio section where you have all the options to put all your schooling and all of that, you want to keep that really clean, and you don't need all of the different links because you don't want to confuse the person with how many links there are, right? You want to keep it really simple so they know exactly where to click. You can have a million socials, and that's great. But we want to be very strategic on our Facebook profile. And where do we want them to go next right now? Well, for me, I want them to go to my Facebook group. And from my Facebook group, they go on to my email list because I ask for an email. And then from there, I can strategically put them where I want them, right? So then I can share with them through email, through my Facebook group, all my other social medias, right? I can give them other forms of content, any other platforms that I use. I can share then all the other things that I want to share with them. I don't need to have it on my Facebook page for them to go there. I just want to be strategic in that moment while they're there of what their next step is, and I want it to be clear to them. So make sure that your Facebook profile is really clear of what the next step is for your client. So I hope you can see the difference between what I described to what you may have or what you may have seen on other profiles, and how that could make a difference between something that is less strategic and something that is more of a funnel, and showing your clients exactly where you want to lead them. Okay, so now I'm just going to move. Oh yeah, okay. So the next thing I wanted to talk about is on your profile as well, is that you can pin a story at the very top of your profile, and you can put in a call to action at the end of your story. I always suggest that you put a story, like a version of your story, so your transformation story, and then put a call to action at the very bottom of your transformation story. That way that everyone that comes to your profile, that is the very first thing that they see is your transformation story. So that is just a way for them to get to know you right off the bat. They understand your story, and that will help them. That just kind of sets the tone for your profile. It helps them understand where you're coming from before they even start going through all of the other posts on your page, right? So you're setting that stage for them to get to know, like, and trust you. So pin that post right at the top of your profile. And then the next thing is, most people think that you need a huge following to get clients, but to be honest, about 90% of clients come from conversations, but not from content that's going viral. So don't worry so much about your content going viral. Worry more about the conversations that are coming than the viralness of your post. And that's really like what it should be, um, a real belief flip, right? Because so many people think of vanity metrics, right? And they think that they're very important, and it is important to make sure that you have, of course, that you have reach and that you get more followers and all of that. But what is more powerful is having conversations with people, right? And three comments is more powerful than having, like, a lot of views but no comments, right? So make sure that your content is really set up for more engagement. Focus on getting engagement versus being viral. Um, okay. Okay, so the next thing I wanted to talk about is value bomb posts. Okay, so value bomb posts on your profile are super important. The value bomb posts are gonna get um, excitement on your profile, and they're also gonna um, help you get engagement as well, right? So one of the things that you could put is even what I just said, right? Most people think you need a huge following to get clients, right? But 90% of my clients come from conversations not going viral. Something like that, right? That's a value bomb. So you could put that in a post. Because that is so valuable that people would likely engage on that, and then you can start a conversation, right? So simple little things like that can really start conversations. That is what you want to think about when you are creating content. Is A, how can I give my clients value? B, how can I really resonate with them? Storytelling is one, right? And how can I create conversation, right? How can I get people to engage and start talking to me, right? And more conversations you can start, the better. Or here's another one. How about something like this? It could be you could teach one simple concept, sorry, why your content doesn't convert. Break it into 3 slides or something and give one fix per slide, and end it with something like, want help implementing this? DM convert, right? That could be something that's super simple, right? Just like one concept with 3 different slides, give one fix per slide, and then end it with, want help implementing this, right? Or you could share a story about being ghosted in the DMs, or and how it shifted your visibility energy. And then you could end the post with something along the lines of, here's how I changed my content and signed 3 clients in 2 weeks. I'm just making stuff up, but something like along those lines. Think of stories that happened to you that you could relay into a post and share with your prospects, right? Think relatable, specific, and that will equal super powerful, right? Anything that's happened to you, you can share with your potential prospects, right? Or with your prospects. So Make sure that you're thinking of all your stories. Write down stories as you go through them, and really use those. Also, this is a little hack that I do, is that when I'm talking to clients or I'm doing research in different groups, I write down, I have a spreadsheet where I write down people's real words. So when they're talking about issues and problems, I actually copy it and I paste it into a spreadsheet. So then when I'm creating content, I can actually use people's real language. People resonate better when you use their real language than when you try to use really fancy words, right? Fancy words don't land as well as when you're using the real language that comes out of their mouths, right? Okay, the next one we want to talk about is comment strategy. Okay, the comment strategy is super important, you guys, because this is a place where a lot of people drop the ball, and it is it's really important to make sure that you're always commenting back on comments. So, and how you're commenting back too is important. So someone posts, "I'm stuck with engagement." Okay, I'm just going to give you some examples of what I'm talking about. "I'm stuck with engagement." You comment, "I've been there. What helped me was focusing more on storytelling tips." Or, sorry, storytelling. More on storytelling than tips. Want the framework I used, right? So you're kind of helping with that, with the comment, right? And then you're offering a freebie, right? You're not forcing anything on them, but you're offering a little tidbit and then offering a framework, right? So you're inviting them into a DM, but you're not pitching them, okay? You're just offering them into a DM, starting that conversation with them. Super friendly, open, and then you start from there, right? I wouldn't pitch them. I would start that conversation. If they said yes, I would get them into the DMs, right? Give them the framework I use, start more conversation, right? Have a little bit of conversation. And then I would probably be like, "Hey, I don't know if this is for you, but I have a Facebook group, blah, 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 blah," right? And invite them to the Facebook group. And then you start nurturing them, right? And then after you've nurtured them, then you can pitch them a little bit. But you don't want to do that right away. You want to, you still need to learn if they're the right fit, if you're the right fit, all those kind of things before you pitch them. So you want to do something like that instead of just commenting, "Love this," right? Like, that doesn't do anything. A comment like that can be appropriate for certain things. Especially like if you don't think that that person is one of your ideal clients, or you're not feeling like you need to engage and further the conversation with them, right? But if you want to further the conversation, then you want to have a more engaging type of content, right? Or you can say, "This hit home, especially the part about being in your head before hitting publish. I teach my clients this too. Such a powerful shift," right? So this is another kind of comment that you can say on a post. Now that one is, you're building authority and relationship, right? Because you're saying that you teach this to your clients too, right? Such a powerful shift. So, like I said, you're building that relationship and the authority because you're saying that you teach this, right? In a group post, right? Can I offer a reframe on that, right? So you're asking for permission. What if it's not about the content, but about the clarity behind it? Happy to expand if that's helpful, right? So you're not giving them this big old explanation, but you're kind of just giving them a tidbit, And then if they want more, you can expand and go into the DMs, right? So this creates curiosity and trust instantly because you're not forcing anything onto them, right? And then Facebook group drops, okay? So this you can put in. Last month I was spiraling in overthinking. Then I simplified everything into one visibility system. I had 2 aligned leads reach out in 10 days. So these are good little drops for your Facebook group, right? Things that get people thinking and talking. And you want to start conversations in your Facebook group, right? So that's definitely something that you want to do in your Facebook group, is start conversations, right? Because that's what people are in your Facebook group for, is to converse with you, get to know people, right? Do things in there. They don't join a Facebook group for no reason. They want something out of it, right? So let's give them something. They're there for solving an issue. They're there for community. They're there for support, accountability. Like, what are they there for? So what are we posting for? Here's another one. Here's how I shifted. And then you insert 3 bullets. Want the template? Drop system below, right? There's another little post that you could put. Keeps them intrigued. I used to think I had to be on 24/7 to be visible. But after testing 3 things, I get more traction now with less time online. It's about alignment, not algorithms. So again, this is just little tidbits, and it's going to keep people intrigued and wondering, what exactly is she doing that is getting her traction, right? So you're going to drum up some comments in there that are like, oh, what are you doing? What did you do that was different? Can you tell me what, like, how did it go? Blah, blah, blah. You know what I mean? Like, people are going to start commenting on that. Or want to see what I post every Monday that gets people in my DMs without selling? I just created a free swipe file. Drop Monday if you want it. So, again, these are just little posts that we're going to drum up those conversations that you need in order to comment and then get them into your DMs and then move them along that client journey to be able to make that sale. You want to take them on a client journey so they can really know, like, and trust you, like I've said a couple of times today. And then they will, once they know, like, and trust you, it's easier to move them towards that yes, right? Remember, 15% of your audience right now is already ready to sell to you, and 85% of that audience is ready to buy from you from 90 to 2 to 3 years from now. So you're constantly in that nurture phase, right? So that is what we got for the 4 steps to visibility. If you want the full visibility checklist with everything I just shared, put the word grow in the comments or send me a DM and I'll send it over to you after this live. The next step from this live is next week I am putting on a Secure Your First or Next Client Challenge. It's for the whole week, July 21st to 25th, from 9 a.m. to 10:30 every day. And that is 5 days of coaching with me. And you will get templates and you will build out your full client attraction system, which is super exciting. I can't wait to dig in and do that with you guys. So I'm super happy about that. If you want an invite to the link, just comment in below and I will get that link to you. And if you want that 15-minute roadmap session, then just, again, comment, call, and I will get back to you on that. Remember that you don't need to be everywhere. You just need to be strategic about where you are, right? So you don't need to be on every platform. Um, and just show up, be strategic, be consistent, and when you do, your people will see you. So thanks for being here today, everyone, and I'll see you inside the DMs. Talk to you soon. Keep showing up and keep shining. Bye for now.